I see you.
Right.
Well, in all angles.
In all angles? How many angles?
Well, it started off with Instagram. Now we're on Facebook.
Well, I still have my my contraption behind me, so I don't have Zoom on my computer.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. What?
I also look like a homeless man, so forgive me.
Hey, well, you know, in LA, everybody's always almost homeless.
That's true. Especially as of late. Nice sign. I never see it this up close. Yeah.
Oh, that back there?
Yeah.
I printed
way cooler in large size. Yeah.
Yeah, I printed that up at my old job a couple of years ago. I'm like, I work in a print shop. I might as well print one up and put it up on my wall somewhere.
No, I like it.
Well,
hey Ben.
I've been good, man. Actually, I've been dying to chat with you. I haven't seen you in forever, and I've kind of like had some Tom withdrawals. There's been times.
Oh, hardly.
Yeah, there's been times over the last 37 months of the year 2020 where I've been like, man, I got to see what Tom's up to. We haven't chatted forever. I'm like, no, leave him alone.
No. You know, you get special. I'm literally. I mean, I'm gonna say this publicly, but like I've been sort of laying low. But you know, for you and a couple of others, I would come out of retirement.
Well, I didn't want to bother you because for the longest time, the last few months, maybe not so much now, but you were working for the glory of Avis.
I was.
Yeah. And so you've been, you know, like most people, I mean, me, I've been doing it for a long time now, working from home, but now you're working from home.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you don't want to work from home.
You know, there's some amazing things about it. One, you don't have to commute.
Yeah.
Two, I can weirdly get more work done, but I can also like see the family in short spurts and things. I mean, right now there's not work, so it's different. I remember reading you talked to somebody saying, eventually you're just going to run out of stuff to edit. Yes. Yeah, I don't even remember where I said that. So we did.
Yeah.
It's kind of how that goes for the most part. You know, we obviously need to shoot. You know, it's funny about, you tell me where you want me to babble on or not, but, you know.
Oh, Babylon.
This pandemic hits all of us differently. You know, it's like if you work in a bar, you have one fate. If you have kids, you have another. If you're single and don't have a relationship, you have another. Right. I saw somebody, I understand. I saw somebody, it was like, we're all in the same storm, but we're not in the same boat, which I thought was a interesting way to put it.
Yeah, that is because, but we're all being hit with the same thing, but it's going to affect us all differently. Yeah. You know, life on this planet is a variety of different things.
Especially now.
Well, how have you been handling being done? I mean, not having enough. You know, you're done with footage. I mean, you're an editor, man. You do editing.
You'll read about me on TMZ in about a month. No, I have no idea. You know what?
Are you just re-editing old episodes?
No, I'm helping with my kids' school video. I'm helping out another thing. I am, as you can see behind me, I'm out of kindness and just also out of love and I'm not doing this to promote it. I'm just trying to, Hero Collector finally, you know, they're going to sell the ships at their virtual booth. So we're going to try and just at least use the socials to let everybody know.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get my hands on the Eagle Moss XL.
Yeah. Oh, here. This is the prototype, which got stuck with me. I don't hoard prototypes, but you know, there it is.
Wow.
It's super cute. Yeah. And so, but the color has changed since then. It's more, this was their first run and pretty good.
Yeah.
They're super cute and they're affordable and, you know, they're really nice over there. Ben Thompson and Chris and the whole gang. So.
Well, they're going to make a nice collection. There's a whole section of any sci-fi fandom especially, they want to get their hands on the ships. They have the Star Trek ships, the Star Wars ships, the BSG ships. Or there's a place for the Orville with that.
Oh, speaking of Doug Drexler, I stole this from my office before we shut down. This is Doug Drexler. Thanks to him. That was, remember, the one that's always been near my by my console at work. Yeah,
you posted pictures of that. I just got in. Somebody just sent me this.
Nice.
That's
impressive.
Yeah, it's just a 3D. I want to paint it. I'm going to paint it to make it look legit until I get my Corbin FX.
This is another one. So this is here's the Corbin one.
Oh God!
Another prototype. This is a non-shooting one. The other ones are in my closet, and then up there are the shooting ones. I mean, I got stuck with a bunch of stuff, but I didn't want to leave it there to, valuable stuff.
Yeah, being out of stuff to add is no problem, because you could play pew pew around the house all day long.
I mean, the thing is, if I were 10 years old, I'd be super excited right now.
Yeah. Well, I want to convert mine into a lighter.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, obviously, we've made that joke, but that would be brilliant. But yeah, I mean, I'm not here to like bore you, but here's the other prototype.
Oh,
that's the Eagle Moss one. And then somehow this ended up. It's just a little bit of history. This is the wooden maquette from season 1. Somehow it ended up in my office abandoned, and I think it was going to get thrown out if I didn't take it with me. So,
no way. I mean, you saved it. I
saved it. I am strongly considering that if we ever finish the season and the show comes to an end, that I will auction this off for charity or something. As much as I love having things from the show, I think other people besides me deserve it.
Well, if I had something like that, I would totally make like vignettes of it flying, but I'd be holding it and you'd see my fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
Going across. Because that's just
so funny.
Yeah, I mean,
why not?
What else is there to do except for stare at the walls, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what we're doing.
Have you finished Netflix yet? I'm done.
I'm actually going, all jokes aside, my wife and I are rewatching Mad Men. I know. Yeah. There's probably things I could put in front of it, but we just wanted some comfort food back before the planet destroyed itself. So
yeah, absolutely.
We settled on the early 60s.
There's so much stuff to watch, of course, but I don't know about you, but me, with lockdown and all that stuff, I find myself, I want that comfort feeling. I want to feel comfortable. So I'm just rewatching stuff that makes me feel good.
What are you watching?
Well, for me, it's nonstop. It's for years straight. Every day I watch at least 5 episodes of Parks and Recreation.
Nice. Yeah, total perfect comfort food.
So we're getting comfort entertainment now, but there's a million things to watch. I'm loving. I've been watching Doom Patrol, which turned out to be great.
Yeah,
Stargirl turned out to be great. But really, I'm like, okay, I watched that new episode. Now let's go back and watch 5 more episodes of Parks and Recreation.
Well, in some ways, having to watch something new, it forces your brain to do more work than sometimes you want it to.
Yeah.
I mean, when your brain has to be devoted to the news or just whatever is in your personal life to survive this entire epic event.
Yeah.
You want to go low. It's okay to be as low maintenance as possible.
Well, yeah, watching something new also, you have to kind of commit, because you also know there's a chance you're not going to enjoy it, or it's not going to fulfill you. Yeah. But there's the things, the comfort food, you're going to enjoy it every single time. So.
And also, if it's really good and they can't finish shooting it, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, you have a really great excuse for being done with the editing and just waiting for, you're just waiting for more footage. We all, every production in Hollywood is waiting for more footage.
Well, there's been a few people I know have been lucky to get, if I was still in unscripted, I might be able to sort of get some work, but most of Hollywood is shut down. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Fox was really trying to get us back in early August. Now I'm speaking out of turn. But with the recent, I don't know, everybody has their own local state information, but with what happened with California a week ago, you're not even supposed to be in the office. So
yeah, same here. All of a sudden things were pretty loose and relaxed. And all of a sudden the other day you go out and you have to wear a mask or you're in trouble, which is good. Which is good, because I tell people, because I'm sure you haven't heard this question at all. People ask me all the time, even I just say, hey, look at this flower patch I found. It's beautiful. In the comments somewhere, someone's going to say, when is the Orville return? When's season 3 coming out?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's the more of us that wear our masks, the sooner they'll get back in the studio.
I reposted, and she's gonna love this, and I'm giving her a shout out. Galaxy Rocks, Melissa.
Oh, Galaxy.
She did the mask thing, and I reposted it. Now I don't go too heavy politics. I've been a little more political just because I think the world needs to. I work at a show that believes in a utopian future, and I kind of feel like we're drifting from that.
Oh yeah, we drifted a little bit.
We drifted a little, so but I'm not here to like beat up people who don't have my political opinion. So I just thought it was a funny picture, and I said, and I even made this joke with Seth. I said, we don't get to show shooting again. We're going to be a period piece. And and then I just tweeted it as that, and I got some stuff, and I got some people coming after me, and I'm like, I get it, but I'm like, oh my God, I just want to get my friends back to work and me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I have bigger altruistic motives, but also it's like if you really like the show, help us out.
yeah, help us out. And then because the show's been months behind at this point, because you guys were slated to mostly be done filming last month, and then of course it takes a few months after that.
Well, here's the thing, and I'll say this also partially out of turn, is, we were aiming for summer and fall when that was a lot of when we didn't have scripts. Yeah. And the scripts are large. So there was never really a set date that was a target. And, they're big. It's still the show, but, we doubled our shooting days.
Yeah. Double the production.
In some cases. Double the production, bigger, better. Also exactly the same. And so, we were pushing into late 2020, and then this happened. The good news is that we used that time effectively. Yeah. By catching up, because, we've said a million times, Seth is involved in all bits of production and in the best way possible, which means he's got to sit with me digitally and edit. I mean, used to be in person. And do his thing, and we shoot like a movie. I mean, I know I keep saying this, but we're a movie. We're a long movie, just the way our workflow is. But we were getting caught up. But now, if we don't start, I have no idea.
You got caught up. Yeah, you got caught up. Well, you can't. The world can't make you any promises right now. So. And I say to people, I'm like, well, it's a world pandemic going on right now. So, I mean, every movie is going through that as well as we are. So it's going to be a while because the special circumstances.
We don't even know. Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
I was going to say, this is going to be the suckiest fall season of any television season in the history of television.
I'm glad they held things back. I mean, for, The Mandalorian, thank God, finished its stuff. So at least that'll come out. Yeah, for that'll fill some some people's hearts and minds.
Yeah, good for Mandalorian though, because they're going to stand out.
Mandalorian, they're going to stand out. But it's like it was luck. Yeah. Like I used to work on 911. I still am in touch with all of them, and by blind luck, they finished shooting out 5 days before everyone got kicked off for the lot, or like 7 days. So they had to figure out how to do it remotely, but they don't have, it came down like a hammer, and certain things will be able to get back, certain aren't.
Yeah, and then I'm sure I was talking to Jay Lee last month. We were talking for a while, and he, he doesn't know for sure, but I mean, it makes sense that I'm sure Seth is probably, just because of what's going on right now, there's probably going to be some little updates to probably some of the scenes and the dialogue when you guys get back that maybe might refer to life the way it is right now, possibly.
I don't know if we're far enough in the future. I mean, it's all open-ended. I think ideally, once again, not speaking out of turn, is I think he'd like to finish what he set out to do. Yeah. But, there's logistical and creative and now narrative challenges to that. Yeah. Yeah. We're far away enough that we don't have to freaking Ed Mercer doesn't need a mask.
No, not at all. I mean, I think any updates might just be a couple little dialogue lines, I can't make. Oh, and lasting impressions when he's reading the USA Today, and he's like, "There's a full ad on teeth whitening." When there's little things like that, I'm sure would come in. But mostly, there's stories to tell. The stories are fleshed out. He knows what they want them to be. Maybe somebody says a line that just might not hit the same way it did before because we've different lives.
Well, there will be some sensitivities. I think we'll get a few. Hey, did they write that after or before? Even though it has nothing to do with it, there's going to be a few of those.
Yeah,
and I'll just have to get on Twitter, assuming I'm still here and in one piece, and be like, no, that was written in September of 2019, but thank you,
Yeah, I mean that's always
a good call.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's gonna be something, but the stories are fleshed out, and people always say, hey, what do you want to see? They ask me, what do you want to see in season 3? I'm like, it doesn't matter what I want to see because the Orville's proven themselves to know better what I want than I know myself, right?
Oh, I mean, we do listen to the fans. We do. I mean, literally. And it's not going to be quite, it can't quite be as in real time because we won't be finishing them while we're shooting, while we're airing.
Yeah.
I mean, so, there was some minor real-time interactivity, but now it'll, we're just the generalized concept of what people are saying we take under consideration.
Yeah. But also you guys are fans too, so it's like you're kind of in the same boat as the fans. You're making it, but you also got things that you want to see as a fan of sci-fi and television and all that stuff.
Actually, the thing I'm going to miss most is that assuming life returns to normal is I don't know how much I'm probably not going to get to be, nor should I be on set, and was one of the strict joys been on my hardest day. It was just to go stand on a spaceship.
Yeah, because you get to sit there and you're kind of like, pew pew,
Yeah, but it's going to be a surreal experience. But honestly, it's obviously for the health and safety of everybody. I don't need to be there.
and you guys don't even know. Because anything you say is just a fingers crossed, hopefully open up in August or whatever. That's just a fingers crossed statement because who knows what will happen from this second to tomorrow. It might change everything.
It was of somewhat loose planning and a finger cross. And then the last couple of weeks, it's like, it's not even a finger cross. It's a huh?
Yeah. It's like, what? Because there's just things you can't answer. You don't know what's going to work because you don't know what capacity you guys are going to be able to come back. Like you're saying, you probably won't even be allowed on set like you used to be. It takes like 100 people to make some of these episodes.
100, 300. There's a 200 rotating crew, and then we got 100, 200 more on the vendor side. I mean, that's really Brooke. Brooke is the queen master of all that, and she can give you the details. But it takes a lot to make shows of this scale.
And coming back, it's hard to even plan for it because you don't know what to plan for.
Yeah, exactly. I think the one thing that no one wants to do is get started and have to shut back down.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm saying no one wants to get anybody sick either. But I'm saying like from a logistics standpoint to like be shooting for like 11 days and then have to like shut down for another month. That's
absolutely
equally disastrous.
It's like, okay, let's do the Zoom call episode.
Gonna get to, you can't even do that because we can't even shoot.
I know. Well, everyone has to do it from home. It's like, everybody's talking on view screens. It can be done in a sci-fi world, I guess. But no, I think we better just wait. Good things come to those who wait, especially a fandom like this. This is such a great fandom.
I'm very lucky. Yeah. We're all very lucky.
And me as a fan am lucky to be part of a fandom that's so supportive, so happy. They're still talking about the show, even more so, especially in the last month. I see a lot more just random Orville this, Orville that popping up. Who do you think? What character would you like to see? This, and that. And
which is good.
Yeah, and of course, you guys are doing what you can as well. I mean, half the cast did that live show, that live Q&A for GalaxyCon. Yeah, GalaxyCon. And I
didn't know what was happening till it happened, which is fine. But to everybody, if they want to do it, knock yourselves out. Great.
Yeah, and I tuned into that, and it was just so nice to see because of the cast. It was Scott, Mark, Peter, Jay Lee, and Kelly Who, they were all so happy to see each other. I mean, half of the conversation was just them so happy to see each other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, we all spend a lot of time together. I mean, especially them, I'm on set a bunch, but they see each other every day for 13, 14 hours a day. And then it was like,
just cut off.
Just like a spigot.
Yeah. School's over, kids.
School's over. Yeah. But it's, like Jay does that, the karaoke, and I think people are just trying to weather it all out.
Yeah, because at least you got to stay with everybody for a couple months while you got some editing done.
Yeah. I mean, it was VFX and post were running for a while, so that was the end. It was like we may have got caught in the tree and then ejected the parachute and landed hard, but the descent was a parachute, so at least there was that. Yeah, actually, more like it was like James Bond trying to grab the parachute. That was bad. And then we got the parachute on, and that part was good. And then the last week or two was actually
yeah. You finally landed, and you're like, okay, let's just let's go watch Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's only so much you can do.
One thing I really wanted to get into is that scene in season 3 with Lieutenant. No, just kidding.
I would love to.
I'm sure you would love to, right?
I mean, I would, but I would also. I love the show, and I don't want anybody getting mad.
And you also love not being in the jail cell.
Yeah.
No, one thing I do want to dive in a little bit is day 1. Or the couple days before you guys got shut down, and then the day of that you got shut down. What was going on? Because that's, for me, I was thinking about it. I'm like, what's going on with these guys? What were they going through?
Everybody was nervous. Everyone was trying to figure it out. I think, I can't claim the moral high ground that I was like, this is going to be like this. I mean, I'm strange enough, my wife was the one who was reading and catching, because she was worried about my kids' school, and she sort of put it in my ear that this was all coming, and you're literally, she's like, you're not going to be at work next week. And we all started feeling uneasy. And ironically, the 2 days before, I started feeling like I had a tickle.
Yeah.
And we had already was hand sanitizer out, and people were washing hands like crazy and just trying to, it was like in the initial stages. But our EP Howard said, look, if you're feeling it, just stay home. This is before and so I ended up the first 2 days I worked from home the Thursday and the Friday, and then that Friday we shut down. It was like the 11th and the 13th.
Yeah.
But people were starting to feel it, and I think it was like a lot of like, do we? What is? Ooh, and then other shows started shutting down, and then it started. It was like a rolling boulder, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then it went from like maybe to that's it, and then 4 days later, it's like we're all staying at home, which was like that Thursday. So a week after I stayed out.
So you were at home when you got the word?
Yes, but I just was being extra careful. Turns out it was allergies.
Yeah, well, and everybody had that same tickle that same day that you got your tickle.
Well, it's funny. No, I had it, and also my wife had a procedure, so I was home anyway. And then Friday we all sort of agreed to work at home.
Yeah.
Which was sort of a little pushing the envelope a little because it wasn't official, but I knew people were starting to feel uncomfortable. I was sort of starting to take it day by day. I kind of called an audible for my team, and then Brooke called one for hers. So.
Yeah, and it was blowing up a little bit quicker. I mean, of course, New York was going through what New York was going through.
Yeah,
but then LA was right there, and it's going fast. It's happening fast.
Yes, if I knew now what I knew then, we would have been all like, maybe we should really not put off that scene.
Yeah, right.
Maybe we shouldn't kick that down the schedule.
Yeah. Let's just get the whole season filmed this week.
Yeah, exactly. You may want to cut these. We would have done a lot of things differently. But yeah, that's the truth. There's nothing. I would like to say we had some brilliant plan, or there was like some like overreaching thing. I do remember that then I did do this one thing, which is that I took some extra things from my office, like my paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
and there was an End of the World playlist that came up on Spotify. And while I was doing that and sort of wrapping up some things, I played that, which was not my usual behavior. But I definitely said, just, I don't know, just in case.
Yeah, we can always bring it back. End of the world music.
Yeah, what?
We just got to listen to some End of the World music right now.
Yeah, of course. It was like all the cliche stuff, like REM and stuff. But it was like, oh, this is fitting.
Yeah, it's the end of the world as we know it.
Yeah,
and then Don't Fear the Reaper and all that stuff.
Exactly. I think that was on there too, actually.
Of course it was. It's End of the World playlist. You got to have it.
Of course. Perfect.
So then I guess I remember following you guys, because I follow you and Brooke.
Yeah.
And of course the cast and all that. So everybody had certain things to say and not sure what to say. And I remember you guys were, I think, putting up some pictures of maybe taking your stuff home. You guys got to get your equipment there to work on it, because now you and Fuse and all the effects team and all that stuff, you guys are the only one. Everything is on your shoulders now.
Yeah,
you guys are the ones working on the Orville while no one else can.
Yeah, and you have to be respectful for that. I mean, I will get, they did, Fox did do this great thing, is that they gave 3 weeks severance. So even though they shut down, everybody got paid to April. I mean, they're a business. It'd be nice if they could float everybody for the rest of eternity, but that's just not how the world works.
Yeah, and nobody expected it to still be going on at this point.
No, I don't. I think that's the thing, is that now everyone has a consensus of like, well, this is going to be a while.
Yeah,
but not back then. Everyone was like, yeah, we'll be back to work in a few weeks or a month, or I said, okay, maybe April, or maybe June.
Yeah, and every statement back then and now is still just a maybe, because there's just no way to know what to do.
Yeah,
what
I mean, like I said, I can't pretend we had some brilliant crystal ball. I would be disingenuous to say so.
Yeah, do you get a lot of contact with, I mean, I'm sure you're more in contact with like Fuse FX and Seth telling you he's looking for it.
Well, that's really Brooke. Brooke and Brandon. That's their. I mean, Tommy and the whole gang over there. That's her thing. I mean, but yeah, they were in touch. I mean, we're all it's hands down right now. So whenever we seem like we're gonna have a chance to come back, we'll pick back up. With the vendors and everything else.
Yeah. Well, even with an episode, I mean, because you guys had 5.5 episodes of material shot. People don't realize that's not necessarily 5 consecutive episodes.
Yeah, we get that a lot. It was consecutive-ish, but we were cross-boarding to some degree, if you know what that term. I know you know, but I don't know others.
Well, it's mostly like movies. Movies film that way. They're all over the place because you got a budget you got to keep, and there's
and things ready. So sounds great, assuming there isn't a national emergency.
Yeah.
so
having some stuff edited means like you have a few scenes from an episode, or it's a couple. You have some episodes done, but there's so much more than just editing and putting effects and having something filmed. I mean, I don't know what the music situations be.
Well, that's a trickier thing. I mean, amazingly, we have Joel and Debney and these great composers and Stan Jones. If we have to, they will figure out a way to do it remotely. I think that's a down the road problem.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's a much fuller sound to have people together, or at least pods of people together. But yeah, we would have to figure that out.
Yeah. The synthesizer soundtrack for season 3, it just isn't gonna
that isn't gonna happen. It's just not what we do. I mean, luckily, as you know, we did re-record the main title, so that exists.
Oh, nice. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, same music though, right? Not like different notes or
no, yeah. Just the more without spoiling it, a more even beautiful version of the theme, an expanded version of the theme.
And that's hard to do because the original theme is just it's just an amazing piece of work. What? And you can't be specific. I mean, everyone that I talk to, or it's like it's gonna be the biggest season ever. It's gonna be great. Can't wait to show you guys what's going on. Okay, you don't need to answer that. I just answered it for you.
Yeah.
But what are you looking forward to sharing with the fans and new fans, people that don't even watch the show yet?
I think it's even more of a love letter to the genre. And I think, I mean, like I said, the greatest thing I ever had, the most fun that we ever had is, we were literally, I'm trying to think what the term is. We were on fire trying to get Identity Part 2 to the screen, and watching that with Brooke and Hillary and Bart and some others, in a on a big TV, and Andre, who's now off, EP his own show.
Mm-hmm.
Watching the Twitter comments and watching people like just their heads explode. Like, I'm looking forward to people watching it, and even if they rip it apart, like just at least like to be able to just like experience it, because at this point we're gonna live with it so long.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to make sure it actually gets out there.
Well, yeah, because in our previous conversations, about previous seasons, I remember you always talking about how you have to wait so long before people get to see what you guys are working on.
Right. Well, this is be careful what you wish for or speak of.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy right there.
Yeah.
Season 3.
But that's the real, and it's fun, the little jokes and the, whatever the new crap we have, from a production standpoint. Just, people, and this, I always find interesting the stuff that, we glossed over, didn't think, or we're nervous about, and then that ends up being like the favorite thing, and we're like, what were we so stressed out about?
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
and then some other plot points where you think we're going to get away with it, and then it's like, 5 seconds in, they're like, why is he doing that?
Yeah.
That's not the protocol.
It's like, yeah, you never know what somebody's going to find or point out that you didn't see. Now, one thing that you guys talked about, I can't remember, maybe it was you that spilled the beans. I can't remember, in some interview.
I try not to, but.
Well, it's not beans that shouldn't be spilled.
Yeah.
It's exciting to me. It always makes me think about the process. About just Seth and John are directing for season 3.
Oh, that was Frakes. Frakes spilled those beans.
Oh, damn it, Jonathan. Damn it. That just makes so much sense to me. And to me, I'm thinking not only for budgetary reasons, but also for the vision of the season. It was for voice there's a line here. Yes. I mean, I think everybody wanted more people back, but this was the way to do it in an expansive way. Yeah, because John and Seth, being super duper executive producers, which is the official title.
Yeah.
They know the ins and outs of the entire layout for the season.
Yeah.
And just being talented directors themselves, it just seemed like the right choice, because every time you bring in a wonderful director, Jonathan, Robert Duncan McNeil, whoever you have in, you have to catch them up every time.
Well, let me put it this way: it was from what little I know, it was a hard decision, and it's like everybody loves both of them, and we've had some really great stuff through it. This is just the way the dominoes fell, but. In some ways, it's probably even better now that this happened, because God only knows, if we had to start back up and we had all these directors slotted, God only knows you can get them back.
Yeah, and also some of them are like, yeah, let's do it. The other one's like, I'm not leaving my house for another few months.
Yeah, or just like, if something starts up earlier and people need to work, it's going to be the same thing with our crew. If it goes a long time, people are going to need to work. It's just a fact of life.
Yeah, and that's the first thing I thought of when this went down, and not just for the Orville, but for all of Hollywood, all the productions. I'm like, to reschedule any production is horrible, because by the time you get to your new schedule, other things were already scheduled, and they allotted time for you back, whenever you were supposed to film in the first place. Everything has to be moved.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And the thing is that since we don't have any way to put any sort of time or schedule on it, it's impossible to even tell what it is. It's like there's no, had we even proceeded with trying to go with when they were trying to open, at least we could have some framework. We don't even have a framework for the framework.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of the schedule. So,
well, yeah, you might be wasting your entire time coming up with a schedule right now.
Yeah, I mean, literally, and that's not anybody's fault. It just is what I mean. Believe me, I don't think there's anybody going like, yeah, I'd rather just do this for another year.
Yeah,
everyone's
absolutely.
like, can we figure out how to do this? Get this going again.
So no, we don't have a plan to even start the plan. We can't even have the meeting to talk about when we should have a meeting.
Well, I think you can have the meeting to where you go, so what's the meeting? I don't know.
We're going to discuss that at the next meeting.
Yeah, I mean, there's big union stuff and all that other stuff too, and I'm glad that everyone's taking it seriously.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Especially now, a little bit, Hollywood was pretty right on, we got to take this seriously, but now everyone else is catching up, and hopefully we'll be able to knock this out and get our entertainment back.
Yeah, or it's going to be a lot of animated stuff, or I hope you like reruns.
Yeah, I hope you like, and Zoom interviews and things like that.
Zoom interviews.
That's the main hallmark of every show right now, every primetime show.
I'm a little scared for my friends in reality and formerly is that, a lot of reality shows have gotten used to people self-filming, and I'm worried about job elimination. That's a bigger conversation for another day, but, and also, there's only so much, I think people have done a brilliant job of producing it under quarantine, but at some point I feel like eventually people are going to get bored.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a great example, an amazing example of shooting under quarantine is the new 30 Rock reunion special came out the other night. Good. I mean, wow, it didn't feel like one of those filmed apart type of things, but it was, and their family members helped and things like that. Yeah. But that's not going to work for an episode of most shows, especially not big budget shows like the Orville.
Yeah, or any of that. I wouldn't know how any of the Marvel shows are trying to figure it out. It's all the same.
Yeah, well, let's just not have shows for a while, and then we'll just appreciate them that much more.
I can go pick berries. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, have some berries and cream. Well, I don't want to keep you forever because I know you got Netflix to catch up on.
Yes.
What was
children to raise?
Children to raise, absolutely. They're growing so fast. But is there anything that you just want to leave everybody with? Like, hey, I'm Tom Costantino, and I'm gonna and I'm an edit-aholic.
I'm an edit-aholic, and hopefully I'll still be working for the show. No, all kidding aside. No, I got to say the fans have been amazing. And like I said, I haven't been like running around on Twitter too much, or, just also because it's depressing.
Yeah.
But,
no,
we are very lucky to have this fan base, and obviously, would love to get everybody this damn season as soon as we sure the hell can.
Yeah, get the damn season as damn possible on the damn TV.
On the damn TV, on the damn Hulu streamer.
Yeah, which is also something as soon as you guys announced the Hulu thing, I was like, perfect.
Yeah, well, you've been on it.
I've been on it since day one with Hulu. And I'm like, it's going to be perfect for the show because that's where I've always watched the Orville on Hulu. I've never watched it live. Right.
You're going to have it. It's going to feel the same. But look, by the way, everyone loved, you were gracious enough to lend me your vocal musings for the video, but everybody loved it. By the way,
yeah, thank you for just using that. It was an honor I never expected that. But also, I got a new one coming out for you guys. It's even better.
All right, fair enough.
It's still Frank Sinatra.
You're doing God's work. Too bad we said coming in 2020. We really screwed that up.
I know. Well, that's always a re-edit. That can, which actually you had me re-edit that because before I originally Fox because the announcement didn't come out yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you reached out and said, "Hey, why don't you throw a Hulu on there?" I said, "All right."
Yeah.
But I was thinking about not doing the year for the next one. I'll just put the Hulu side because we know that's legit going to happen. And I'm excited for the Hulu stuff because the budget. And the care taken into this and the production value is just skyrocketed.
I will say this: it's funny because obviously I occasionally look Reddit and I'm just like, look, I love everybody. I don't mind when people rip apart the show, or as long as they're not mean about people personally. Like I mean, like it's all fair and love and war and the shit posts and all this other stuff. But it's funny because I think people think like the budgets got cut, or there was like Fox was like dying to cancel it, and none of that stuff was true. I mean, if anything, the show's bigger and more expansive. I mean, I don't know how many decades we'll be able to keep this up, but at least the show's going to be the wait will be worth it. And I'm not saying that as a shill. I'm saying that as a fan.
Yeah, and also, and I'm glad you said that because I still there's so many misconceptions about the move, and like you just said, thinking that Fox loved the show. It's expensive, but also it might not have been the best home. Plus, there was some other business stuff going on. Personal to Seth's career.
They're also a business. They are pretty darn flexible. I will give Fox enough, it's like they were very, and still are, and now Dana Walden's over at Hulu, and she's great. I mean, like, we're very lucky. We could have people that really ride it in a hard way. They're not that at all. They're pretty supportive on all fronts.
Yeah, absolutely. And and I also get stuff like someone else the other day says, "Oh, I guess the Orville's dead because it's only available going to be available in the United States." I'm like, "Whoa, told you that. It's going to be everywhere. It's just going to."
I would even say, like, I knew what the plans were, but those would probably be different too.
Yeah.
I think people will be able to see it, whatever that is.
No
you're
doubt.
Not going to not be able to get it. You may have to pay for it. You might not even, and some people won't.
Yeah, it'll all be different. I mean, we already know where it's playing in Canada. We know where it's going to be playing in Australia, and we're just waiting for more little, tidbits.
This is by assuming all these countries are still here.
That's true too. I mean, we don't even know if it's going to play in America because we don't even know if America's going to be here or the United States.
Whatever we are, whatever we'll be in about 7 years.
Yeah,
it's going to be a damn great show.
Yeah, absolutely. Hulu's worldwide, not the service, but their shows. Like I tell people, I'm like, where do you watch Do you watch Handmaid's Tale? I'm like, oh, of course. Do you watch Future Man? Oh, of course. I'm like, well, you don't have Hulu.
No,
How did you watch that?
Hulu's killing it.
Yeah,
so that's good. I mean, I'm just happy that I'm happy that I have a show that can kind of do its own thing. I consider myself very lucky.
Real quick, I just have to let Hulu know that I talked about them like they asked me to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Yes, please send it. They'll send you the check. I think it'll come to electronic.
Oh, they just PayPal'd me. Nice.
See, that's great. Yeah.
Well, all right, man. Tom, it's always great. Always
thanks
great.
For having me.
Now that I know that you're done editing, I'll just talk to you I'll just send you messages.
You know where to harass me. I will be in it. I will not always necessarily be as responsive on the Twitterverse, but or wherever, but because who knows, I'll probably be washing produce or whatever the hell you do.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. I'll Reddit you.
Yes, please.
Because not enough people do that.
No, but thank God for this fan base. At least it feels like because people are getting some joy out of this show.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, tons of people are already talking about they can't wait for season 7. It's going to be absolutely incredible.
I will not be alive to do that one at the rate I'm going, but whoever is here.
Yes, yeah, we'll get Tom Jr. on there. Somebody will do
exactly.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll get Avid and I'll practice and maybe it'll be me. But I'll probably be dead too. I'm just a couple years younger than you, so.
Oh my God, yeah, forget it. I mean, we'll look down. I'll look up and you can look down and see what happens.
Oh no, look over to your left or right. That's where I'll be, buddy.
All right, good.
All right, man. I'll let you go. And
all right, sounds good.
I hope all your times are egotastic fun times and Jalo Jalong and prosper.
I love it.